And all the brothers and sisters said, "Amen."
I love that you think we're going to punch him in the mouth.
Fingers crossed, right?
And I ain't butt chugging anything.
We got to do some content here.
In the Venn diagram of fucked up, I'm not sure where that fits, but I'm pretty sure I hit the nail right on the head there.
Works well under close Nick Saban adult supervision.
Randy Sanders has the team dialed in. They are ready to go.
How many bananas do you want out of me?
Don't know. I kind of want to give Vanderbilt some love here.
I love those head games at the two.
You got to weigh all your options.
It's so much fun.
Nobody wants to go Lane Kiffin here? I might go Lane Kiffin here.
All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Liquor and Leagues is here for another round. Week 9. I think I lost my place. Week 9 is behind us, I think. Maybe. Week 9 is behind us. I don't even know anymore. Week 9 is behind us. Week 10 is fast approaching. So, yes, we're going to look at the games that were, the games that are. Maybe we'll get down the road to some games that might be. Well, they will be, but whether or not we talk about them remains to be seen. But it is another episode of Liquor and Leagues. We're excited to be here. Got all the boys in the house. Gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Doing good.
I'm doing well.
So good. Oh, this
I'm doing very well.
Be better if been braver with some choices.
Yeah, I know, man. Fuck, and I had said that.
I'm pleased
my
with
dad
the
called me
outcome of
this
the week.
morning, and he goes,
"Not my picks."
My dad's like, "Don't you wish you had picked Auburn?" And I was like, "Fuck off."
Yeah,
sure do.
I said it. I should have done it. I
mean, bro, look. I mean, I spent 10 minutes last week trying to talk myself into it, and just I couldn't do it.
And this is what I justified to my father, Haas. You made a valid point. There are still a few weeks left. Still a lot of games out there that we can potentially gain ground. It's only one game. Mac, I'm sorry, bro. You called one right and one wrong. You'd have gained ground, but unfortunately, you stayed exactly where you are because you got one of those
loyal
wrong. You did
to my team.
Mac, I was envious of you, brother, because of the position you're in. You could make that pick. I wish I could have, and unfortunately, I went with my head.
That's your fault.
I kept myself in the running, and that's what it was. Look, there are 4 weeks left. I got time. But I'm not doing this. It can't be looking back at like the choices I made. The choices got made. They're done. It's over with. But
at the end of the day, which is a better win? The bourbon or the bananas?
The bourbon. All right.
I'm thinking the bananas.
Yeah, you'd be wrong. Okay, look, I'm going to go ahead and say this.
Show you a few reasons why the bananas would be the better win.
and
you do that.
When I win it, we'll have those discussions.
We'll discuss that. Yeah. You can send videos back and forth. We can talk about it. Look, I'm going to come right out of the gate and I'm going to say it. I don't really care about the other 3 games. I don't, because there was for me only obviously one game that mattered. I want to just.
Is that Missouri Vanderbilt?
I want to say what I have to say. You can refute and rebuttal at your leisure, but I'm going to say what I have to say. With that being said, unfortunately, I watched the game, and I'm talking about the largest outdoor cocktail party in Jacksonville, Florida at TIAA Bank Field, and that would be between Georgia and Florida. I watched the game, every minute of it. That's a lie. I didn't actually watch every minute of it. I ran to the store, and I missed some of it, but that's not the point. I played some things
or
back.
Like Mac, you had to go fetch your controller a couple of times.
Yeah, right? I looked at the stats. I'm going to tell you right here and right now. And Grinch, again, like I said, you can refute and rebuttal as needed. Georgia is neither the best team in the country nor the team to beat right now. And I'm going to tell you why, and then I will let you have your piece. Except for 2 minutes and 9 seconds in the second quarter. That game, and Haas, you're right. And I know what you're thinking. You got to play all 60 minutes. Absolutely. I'm just saying the reason Georgia is neither the best team or the team to beat right now is because while their defense is outstanding, their offense sucks. And I'm going to tell you why, and then I'll let you say. You guys in that 2 minutes and 9 seconds had.
I was just looking to make sure it said 34. It does. Okay.
Had a pick six, which got run back to the house for 6. You recovered a fumble at the 11-yard line, and then you caught an interception at the 36-yard line of Florida. So you had a pick 6. That was 6 points. You had the fumble recovery at the 11-yard line, which you then handed off to Woods for 1 play. You got 6 points. And then you caught the interception at the 36-yard line, and you threw a single pass for 6 points. You have an incredibly anemic offense right now. And the only reason your offense is in the game is because of your defense. You have the number 1 defense in the country, but the 42nd offense in the country. And we proved that yesterday in terms of more total yards, more time of possession, more first downs. And it is much like the Kentucky game with Florida. You said the stats don't read that game should have been a loss. The stats yesterday don't read that the game should have been that disparaging in terms of points. Now, all that to say, your team won. Take the win. You've earned it. You did, because for that 2 minutes and 9 seconds, your team was the better team. They made the plays they needed to make to win. Unfortunately, Mac, what you said, we didn't get beat by Georgia. We beat ourselves.
Well, no, hold on. And I
don't have
step
to
in
hold
here.
on. No, you can do whatever you want.
And I know Grinch wants to talk, and I kind of part of me wants to make him wait even longer.
Mhm.
But I'm also going to come to his defense.
You can. You'd be
They
wrong,
didn't
but go
score
for it.
34 points in 2 minutes.
No, they only
right?
scored one other touchdown, and that was a
It
42-yard
doesn't
run.
matter.
That was a 42-yard by Zaire White. That's my point. Three plays.
Zamir White.
Oh, what'd I say? It doesn't
You
matter.
were close. You were close.
Three
It's
plays. This is
Zamir.
my point. They have not proven, or at least not yesterday, at this point in the season, 9 weeks in, that their offense cannot walk down the field and score points. What they can do is they can get a breakaway run with a 42 yards by White. They can get a 11-yard run by Woods. They
Which
can
is
get a
good enough.
They can get a
for
36-yard.
7-0 or 8.
They can get a 36-yard reception.
8-0.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, against Florida, that was good enough. Against Kentucky, it's good enough. You're gonna eventually run into a team where that won't be good enough, and it may be the SEC championship. And
I
look,
don't know.
you guys clinched. You guys clinched the SEC championship. Your offense, and assume that Auburn doesn't beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl. Alabama goes. Your offense is not better than Alabama. Your defense is phenomenal. No argument. And I'm saying all this with
championships.
I'm saying no, I
Clearly.
don't think
Yeah.
so. No.
I don't know. I mean, go back and ask Baltimore back in the early 2000s.
You
won
can
with
ask
a
Tampa Bay
completely-
Buccaneers in the early
anemic-
2000s, but
Yeah,
we're not in the
they won
early
with a
2000s.
It doesn't matter though.
But it's been like this. Bear
They
Bryant said it
won.
back in the day. Good team, good offenses win games. Great defenses win championships, and that's what we're looking at with Georgia.
You can
Can't
Georgia
tell
stop
if these are
teams.
compliments or indictments. Or...
You take it however you want. My point is Georgia is neither the best team in the country based on their showing yesterday or the team to beat, but they are the best
Then how are they the
defense.
number one? How are they the number one team in the country?
Because the only
That
thing keeping them
makes
in the
them
game is
the
their
Ohio
best
defense.
team in the country.
The only thing keeping them in any game is their defense. Is that not accurate? Is that not accurate?
Last
That
time
their
I checked,
defense.
number
Yeah,
one.
whole
but that's
team
part of their
plays.
team.
Yes.
The whole team plays.
Yes,
That whole
and not
team
well.
played.
Not well.
And they
You're right.
Were what they needed.
You don't
They
need
don't
the whole
have to
team to play
They
well.
need to play good enough.
You have to get out with a W.
You're making the
Florida
argument they need to play
barely
good enough
got
against
7
Florida.
points.
Florida's
barely
4-4.
got 7 points.
Yeah,
And they're
Florida's
now
4-4.
4-4. And
Right.
they played Alabama just as tough.
And I told you they were going to
And
be
how many
4-4
points did
coming
you
out of the
put up
break.
on Alabama? So in terms of 34-7, the team was what it needed to be.
Of course,
And
no
this
argument.
and every week they will be what they need to be to win.
But your
You
own
play to your
they're-
competition.
Right now, like the game yesterday, it was like a boa constrictor. It just kept tightening.
Right.
And that's all it needed to do. I
Yeah.
mean, the way Kirby approaches the game, which is the same way Saban approached the game, is all 4 quarters with a plan of how the game's going to unfold, which is why when they get those weird games, it tends to not fare well, which is why Auburn tends to give Alabama fits at odd times.
Right.
But it should be noted. I mean, I will say this. More often than not, the way the team aligned, you didn't know what it was going to do. Now, this gets back to the argument of Stetson Bennett versus JT Daniels, which is why most Georgia fans will tell you JT is still going to be the guy when things start tightening up.
Right.
Because JT doesn't underthrow that wild ass interception that Stetson Bennett tossed up. It
Right.
made no sense to me. He doesn't underthrow the other ball in the opposite corner. Like that's where JT Daniels makes things different. And oh, by the way, George Pickens still isn't out there. So
right.
I think to me, you can use this game and say they are or they aren't anything. It doesn't matter. They're 8-0.
Yep.
They're going to roll
No
the
way.
remainder of the season, and not one team has given them a tough time.
No.
Even
Well,
Kentucky was a hard fight, but at the end, when you saw the stats, you were like, they just crushed it.
Right.
They did what they needed to do to win because they schemed for every team they play. They don't expect to run the same offense every time.
Unfortunately, the more, and I asked this at the beginning of the season about Stetson Bennett, the more I watch Stetson Bennett only has 3 moves. and they're getting figured out. Florida hasn't, but they're getting figured out. He's got the handoff to either McIntosh, Woods, or White. He's got his run, his design run, or he's got the bootleg counter. And the counter yesterday, Florida couldn't stop the fucking counter yesterday. It was fucking irritating. But he has, like you said,
Gary Danielson say it. They saw what LSU did, and
Right.
they worked it in when they needed to.
Absolutely.
So they were what they
It was
needed to
that
be.
damn counter, yeah.
To win.
Unfortunately, as I said, it doesn't change the fact that they are neither the best team in the country or the team to beat right now.
I still disagree. Name
And
one.
that's
team
okay.
that
I
is
knew
better.
you would.
Who's better?
So who's better? Right.
Yeah,
Who's
who's
the better? Who's a
better?
better team and who's the number one team in the country? Because they are ranked number one, so that makes them the number one team in the country.
Oh,
Who's
yeah, but
better?
I mean,
who should
ultimately,
be ranked above them?
hold on, I'll tell you.
And goddamn it, Grinch, for making me defend Georgia.
You're a grown man. You can do whatever you want.
Wait. Shouldn't it be goddamn Thor for making you defend Georgia?
Let's see.
That's true. Fair point. Hops.
Technically, it should be. Yes, you're right.
He's arguing against them, not me.
That's right. Oh, let me do
It's in the legal world, it's the but for factor. But for Thor taking this stance, you wouldn't have to do what you're doing.
And yet
Yes.
I'm going to, so it doesn't matter because it doesn't make it less
Yeah.
true.
Because it isn't Michigan State.
Are you
Hold
trying
on,
to
it's
tell
in
somebody
Ohio
that's
State.
better?
No,
It
no,
isn't
no.
There isn't
Alabama.
a team out there.
It isn't Oregon. It isn't Cincinnati.
Where did that go?
Oh yeah. I want to see you. I want to see you run Cincinnati in the championship game against Georgia. Let me know how that works out for them.
Oh, there we go. I was like,
By the
why did
way,
that-
Georgia played Cincinnati in the bowl game last year.
yes, they did.
I mean, shouldn't we talk about the upset?
You
of the
can
week?
talk about whatever you want. Go for it.
I just find it funny a 34-7 win is getting this much scrutiny.
I know, right?
I mean, it was a beatdown.
Look,
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a
And
loss. I
I'm
said that
only
the
one
week
here that
before.
picked Florida. I'm the one that should be upset.
Do you get upset about anything?
No,
Exactly,
I'm getting upset
so-
about this bullshit.
No, that's on you, brother. Yeah, but it's all based on voting.
We-
there are plenty of 8-0 teams, but
with
it's all
nobody
based
on
on
mine
voting.
No, there aren't. There's like 4.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
how many of
Any
UTSA
4 of those could be.
UTSA. Okay, UTSA, you're going to move them up to 1.
Oh, I don't know.
Or
That could
Wake
be close.
Forest. There's a case to be made for a Wake Forest.
No, there's not a
Michigan
case.
State or Cincinnati. Those are the only undefeated teams left.
And out of those teams, the only team that I would say possibly would have a chance would be Michigan State.
Oh, and Oklahoma. Oklahoma.
At
I
Oklahoma, yeah,
missed
Georgia,
still stick with what I
Cincinnati,
said.
Oklahoma, Michigan
who
State,
almost lost to Kansas State.
Yeah.
Wake Forest. Yeah, I mean, you can go down the list. What, you're not going to put UTSA up there?
He mentioned that.
Okay, you want to move UTSA up there?
No. Ultimately, the point being, any given
I'm still
Saturday,
wondering what the point is.
you're not. Look, if you're talking about the best team in the country based on ranking, yes, you're the best team in the country.
Went into Georgia and won, or into Auburn and won.
Well, I'm glad you went
Played
into Georgia. and won.
Kentucky. Yeah, we definitely won in Georgia.
So
I'm
into
saying,
Jacksonville and
as
won.
a
Here's my
complete, you're
question.
not a
Hold on.
complete
Has
team right now.
anybody
hold on.
been close?
Yeah, actually,
No.
you guys aren't putting up. That's my point with your offense. You're not
Nobody's
putting up
been
50,
close.
60 points. You're barely
Nobody's
putting
you
up
don't have to
30.
put up 50 or 60 points.
No, of course you don't. But what I'm saying is you're going to run
here's
into a
the thing.
buzzsaw eventually.
You have to
When
put
you
up
have a-
one more
when
point
you
than
have
the
a
team
lockdown
in the
defense,
opposition.
you don't have to put up 50 points.
Yeah.
Of course. Thank you for making
like
my
I
point for
said,
me. I
the whole
appreciate
team
it.
plays. The team won.
Yes, they
If you
did.
want to separate them into parts, that makes no sense. That's not how a team plays.
No, of
The
course
whole
it's not.
There's
team
no
played.
I in team.
That's right.
But so what you're saying is if you didn't have your defense, your team would still be competitive.
Yes,
No.
but that doesn't make
Absolutely
sense. 'Cause
not.
They do. You can't.
Of course
you
they
can't-
do. Of course they do. Nobody's making the argument
But
that
your
they
point
don't.
makes
That's
no
my
sense.
point.
You're
Yes,
saying
it does.
How
what,
have
what
we
you're
gone from a
implying.
sports?
What you're
I love
implying is
this. This
that
is
their
great.
offense is why they
This is
won't.
why I did this.
You're saying because of their offense, they're not going to win it all.
I
That's
love
what you're
rattling
trying to
his
say,
feathers. It's
which is
fun.
not the case.
So what other games did you want to talk about?
in
I've made my
spite
point.
of their offense, they will still win it all.
You,
That's
do you
the
want to?
statement to be made.
Do you think they will?
I
David
think,
Pollock,
right,
your own David Pollock said the one team they don't want to face is Alabama. Came out and said the one team Georgia doesn't want to face is Alabama. They don't
Okay.
have the team to beat Alabama.
Okay.
So
So that's
what
why
do-
we play the game.
of course,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Do you think Alabama wants to play Georgia?
Yes, because it's the
No.
only road to the national
No.
championship. Yes,
I'm
they
not
have
sure
to.
Alabama is going to beat Auburn.
Well, I'm not either,
Yeah.
and that's why I say it. But if you play Auburn a second time, do you win?
Yes.
Because that's something that has been historically doesn't trend well for that team. Not
But
Georgia.
we-
I'm saying for
but
teams
we went
when they
into
had to play a
Jordan-Hare,
team twice.
the same stadium that just kicked Ole Miss's ass
Do you think that
and shut
Auburn
them
can
down.
beat Alabama
I think they can. Yeah.
after
Well,
this?
and here's the thing: Auburn's rolling. I mean, they took down
Surprisingly
Arkansas,
enough,
then
right?
they turned around and took out Ole Miss. I mean, I mean, you can't say that Auburn hasn't found their sea legs because right, they beat LSU.
Yeah.
Then they turn around. Well, I mean, they lost Georgia, but they turn around and then they beat Arkansas and then Ole Miss. I mean, it's not like they're a punk bitch.
And they're going to be playing in Jordan-Hare
your
Stadium
point is
for the
taken.
Iron Bowl.
I am not sure that Alabama makes it past Auburn.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. All right.
I
So
think
what are the
for me,
games?
though, the Kentucky Mississippi State
yeah,
game
no
was
shit.
Let's go for it.
was surprising. I totally
who
expected
knew?
Kentucky to roll in and
Ditto.
win that game easily.
Ditto.
I did not
But who
see
knew?
Mississippi State, especially 31-17.
Who knew? All you have to do is get Mike Leach
Uh,
talking about Halloween candy, and it
Exactly.
galvanizes his team.
Boom. Well, Vanderbilt played Missouri close right up until the end, and then Missouri walked away. But Vanderbilt was actually winning at one point,
Yeah.
which surprised me.
I think like 15 people saw that game.
That's true. Was it really a game worth watching?
No, apparently not very many people went to the game though.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
terms
I
of just
saw,
being in the
I saw an
stadium.
article. Yeah, I saw an article about like the attendance, but I'm not trying to dog on them. We know they're not good. It's tough to root for a 2-7 and 0-5 in conference team.
But I think, the biggest, you start looking at the biggest amount of points put up. That had to be App State over UL Monroe, 59 points.
Well, here's
But
a
it-
question.
But it is UL Monroe.
Shane Beamer's been taking all this heat. Dan Mullen's 4-4.
Look, here's the problem, right? He's going to finish out. They're probably going to win out the season. I don't think they have, I think, I say that most of their games are very winnable games. They should win. But yeah, I think without a doubt, you're talking year 4 now. And we've said, 3 years. I think he's on the hot seat. You don't expect an 8-win season at Florida. That's not going to cut it. So, do I think he gets fired
as a
after
Carolina
this year?
fan? We'd love it. Win season.
Well, that's because you guys would hire him at the end of the season if we fire him. So
We might.
do I think he gets canned this year? No, I think but if he puts up another 8-win season next year, yeah, I think it's time to start dusting off and updating that resume.
Well, and interestingly, Mel Tucker's up at Michigan State now. I've heard his name mentioned as people wanting to see if he'll go to LSU because that's where Saban went after he left Michigan State. He went to LSU. And Mel Tucker worked for Saban. He also was on the Georgia staff for a couple of seasons before he took that head coaching job out at Colorado State one. And then he went to Michigan State. I'll be curious to see if he goes to LSU or who they get. Yeah, Michigan State's, that was a hard fought win over Michigan.
But again, we're outside of the SEC at this point. But I think Jim Harbaugh's another name. He just doesn't seem to be getting it done at Michigan.
No.
I think he's going to be one that might be on the chopping block here really soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah, no love lost there, right? I'm not a Harbaugh fan, so
No.
It should be worth noting too, though, just as we look at the SEC, if Bama does lose again, particularly to Auburn, and Auburn wins out, I think Auburn goes to the SEC championship.
They do. They are
Because in the head-to-head,
sitting right there.
they'd have same record, but head-to-head they would have won. So,
Right.
Ole Miss or Mississippi State and Ole Miss didn't do them well. Mississippi State's at 5-3 in conference. No, 3-2 in conference, and Ole Miss is 3-2. Well, and how about Jimbo? Supposed to be having the team firing on all cylinders. They're 3-2.
yeah.
That's going to make some of these games coming down the road a little interesting in terms of our picks, Haas, because we do have to reel. Now, this is an interesting thing now.
Yeah, shit's getting real for sure.
Haas, you're sitting one behind Grinch, but you hold the tiebreaker in the ETSU league, which means if you can reel Grinch in and tie him, you automatically have the winning vote because all you got to do is just keep voting however he does in ETSU or, making sure. And you hold the tiebreaker.
Why are you trying to help him?
So
Why are you trying to help him?
Would that not leave just the worst taste in your mouth if you finish with a tie, Grinch, and lose
and
on the
you know,
ETSU?
SU, that's right. But here's the interesting thing. Every week he wins, he picks first. So you pick behind him. But if you do win to tie a game back, Now you pick first, and that allows him the opportunity to pick off of your pick. So I don't know. It gets interesting down the road. Unfortunately, I can't win in the tiebreak. So for me to win, I got to win outright. I just got to end a game ahead.
Well, I really don't like right now. These next 2 weeks are going to give us some really difficult choices.
Yes.
So I got a feeling it's going
Couldn't
to
agree
work
more.
out.
And it was a short week of football. Look, I love ruffling your feathers, Grinch. Look, at the end of the day, I wore the shirt, man. You guys won,
You
and
did.
I'm not taking.
I'll give you that.
Not
You
taking
did.
anything away from your fucking dogs in terms of look. They beat Florida. It is fucking disappointing. I said this a week ago. I went with my head. Yes, Mac. I could have gone with my heart and just stuck by Florida, but I knew it was a loss. And I said this 2 weeks ago before the break, going, we're going to come out of this break being 4-4. And that's a tough pill to swallow coming off of an 11-win season a few seasons ago, going to the SEC championship last year and almost winning. Like, yeah, it's a painful pill to swallow. Should Dan be on the hot seat? Absolutely. Because you're trending in the wrong direction. But kudos to Georgia. You guys are number one. I have a friend that I actually keep in touch with. And I texted her yesterday and I said, look, good luck to your dogs. You guys are going to win. And really the good luck is for me. It's not for you because you guys don't fucking need it. And she was like, let's hope Georgia just plays like they don't give a fuck about the record. It was funny because it seemed that it was funny to steal that undefeated or that goose egg from Kirby Smart. He seemed a little pissed off when we put up 7 points. We hold the record for the most games with points scored, 418 games in the NCAA. I was glad that we at least put
win.
Yeah, I was glad we at least put points up. I was like, don't fuck, man.
Well,
on, man.
I thought Gary I really do. I know I critique the guy all the time. I thought Gary Danielson was pretty good with the game, just making his observations were more insightful than I find them typically. Like he just seems like he just babbles at times, but
he's old.
Well,
but he pointed out some interesting stuff, and I don't know. It wasn't as painful as it normally is.
Yeah,
Right.
they had the hard hitting commentary on the stencil size in the end zones.
Hey man,
so,
for us
you
graphic
know.
designers, that's some relevant shit right there.
Well,
So,
and I'll say this, and not that there's like a real history of this, but I thought both teams played hard, but they played clean, they played respectful.
Yeah.
And even at the end, it was kind of nice to see them all on the field. Because so many of them have been recruited by the same schools. They went to high school together.
right.
Like just seeing them all out there shaking hands. Like to me, it's why like in the UFC, I've always said, like, if you can go beat the shit out of another person and then shake their hand afterward, because it was a contest, like it isn't personal in the sense of like you're carrying all that other baggage in.
It's not a bar fight. It's two guys out there playing a sport.
And the
at the top of their
penalties
sport.
were fairly minimal, overall. I mean, most of them, I didn't see any that I was just like, I don't agree with that. Like, most of I think the officiating was pretty solid as well.
Yeah.
So
The turnovers were legit turnovers when you all fumbled and they called it and said, yes, it's a fumble. And like same thing with us. Yeah. I thought the game was called fairly well. And at the end of the day, you guys won. And that's all that matters. You walk away with a W. Everything else is a moot point. I mean, I can sit here and talk shit all day long, but it doesn't matter. You're still number one. You've still now punched your ticket to the SEC championship with 4 games left, thanks to the Kentucky loss. But you did what you guys had to do to get to the dance. And so look, at the end of the day, it's been 40 fucking years. You're entitled to be in first place and you're entitled to potentially have a shot at a national championship, which, has almost not been seen in your lifetime. And I'm okay if it's about time, I'm good with it. So I just like ruffling feathers.
Again, I'm never sure if I'm being complimented or
if you want to know how to take that one, Grinch, that's a backhanded slap.
That's it.
Okay, just so you know.
So look, we had 4 games this week. A lot of teams didn't even play. So now we're going to be jumping back up to 7 games. This gives us a chance, Haas, to hopefully reel him in and see if we can bring back a game or 2. Grinch, you are still sitting in the top spot. We all had 2 games this week. You are sitting in the top spot with 61. Haas and I are tied for first loser at 60. And Mac, you are still 5 behind the leader at 56. Your game, I think, at this point is almost impossible to pull back 6 games. 6 games to get into first place. Actually, you only need 5.
6 games.
You only need to tie because you're also winning in the tiebreak. You just can't tie with Haas because you're both tied in the tiebreak. So we'll have to work that out.
I'd be okay tying with Haas.
Yes. So We're going to start with you, Grinch, because you are still leading the charge. So we are going to start with you in the week that is coming up. All right. So let's go through our games, make our picks. All right. First game, Alabama LSU.
Yeah. I'm going to go Alabama. I just wonder if that weird, highly emotional LSU is going to show up.
And they were off a week. So they've got, well, they both were off. So they both had 2 weeks to train.
I mean, I still think in terms of what's in the cabinet, Bama is the better team.
Okay. Georgia, Missouri.
Going Georgia.
Texas A&M, Auburn.
I'm going to go A&M.
Going Texas A&M. Home field advantage at Kyle Field against Auburn. Which Bo Nix will show up? Be interesting to see. South Carolina, Florida. Florida at South Carolina. Sorry, South Carolina is the home team.
Closer than the experts think.
Look, I'm telling you right now. Yeah, that's that could almost be a pick 'em right now.
Yeah. I don't know what the spread is on that one.
Haas, can you pull? Is that even something that's out there right now? If you pull those,
and interestingly, as we know from the Ole Miss Auburn game, despite the ranking, Auburn was favored.
Sometimes.
Right?
Yeah, Auburn was favored by 3.5 or whatever.
Let's jump down to Ole Miss Liberty while he's looking at that. I'm assuming Ole Miss for that.
I'm going to go Ole Miss. Yeah, I mean Liberty's a good team. I think they put up 60 or something like that this past weekend. So
look, you can only have one out of the box team that you can root for, and you've already latched onto the Sean.
That's right.
So,
you don't get to go Liberty now.
You can't get Liberty too.
It's over halfway through the season.
Florida is a 14.5 favorite right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I it's more than I expected it to be, but yeah, I'm going to go Florida.
Okay.
And then
Arkansas,
Mississippi State.
They showed you enough, huh?
Yeah. I mean, if
They're
the same
giant
team,
killer.
if the same team shows up again, I mean, Will Rogers had like 354 yards passing, I think.
Yes,
Now, Arkansas, of course, had a week off, so they've got some time to prepare, and they've gotten to see. They get game footage of Miss State and Kentucky. Obviously, Miss State won't have game footage of Arkansas from last week, but
yeah, and I mean, and the Arkansas fan base turns out. I wonder what time that game is. I'd be curious, but
and then Kentucky, Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean,
Tennessee's on a bye week, coming back.
I know, and their offense because they're
Go ahead, Haas. What were you going to say?
No, I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Bama smacked them. I
the
think
fourth
that score's
quarter.
a little lopsided, because
Yeah.
they scored 28 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Kentucky.
Kentucky it is. So Alabama, Georgia, Texas A&M, Florida, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Ole Miss. That's what you're going with.
Yep.
Boom, locked in. All right. Haasinator.
No, you go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I will go first then. All right. So Alabama, LSU, I'm going Alabama. Again, both teams have had a week off. I think Alabama's a better team over LSU. Does LSU play with heart? I don't know. Who knows with the whole Ed Ogeron thing? I know he's lost the locker room, but
they may have shot their wad with the Florida game.
Yeah. Auburn, Texas A&M. I made the mistake of not going Auburn. That's on me. I made that mistake. I'm not doing it again. So I'm going to go Auburn here over Texas A&M. At the end of the day, it's like they say when a bear's chasing you in the woods, I ain't got to be the fastest guy. I just got to be faster than the slowest guy. So Mac, you're still sitting 5 games behind. So I'm gonna roll the dice here. I'm gonna take my chances and see if I can pull one back somewhere. I've got a few weeks, but I got to start playing now. So Florida over South Carolina. I think Florida will take that one. Hopefully they will work out this fucking quarterback situation. Mississippi State, Arkansas. I'm going to go with Arkansas. I think Arkansas's had a week off. And again, they're going to be watching game footage. Hopefully they will prepare effectively. It is at home, Razorback Stadium. We'll see if that gives them an advantage. Kentucky, Tennessee. I'm going to go Kentucky here. I think hopefully they bounce back. I know Tennessee does have a decent offense, but it's still Hendon Hooker. I'm hoping he still struggles. And then Ole Miss over Liberty. I'm going to go Ole Miss. So the two outliers, obviously, Grinch, are going to be my Auburn and my Arkansas over your A&M and your Miss State, and we will see what happens. I could go Tennessee over Kentucky. No guts, no glory. Quit being a pussy. There we go. That's what I'm doing. Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, Florida, Arkansas, Tennessee, Ole Miss. You either walk away from me or I reel you in. If I win 2 of the 3, then I've got you. Then we're tied. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, Haas. No, you can't run forever.
Yeah, I know, and thank you. I appreciate you going first since we were
No
tied.
problem. Well, last
I was
week
just-
you
I
went
was- I was
first.
trying to
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was trying to find some lines for us, and like I said, I was having to really kind of scrape the bottom of the barrel to find some of the stuff.
I
Yeah,
talked to a guy. He's out in
yeah.
the corner.
seriously.
He
like,
says he's got a horse we can bet on.
my dad's
Alabama,
oldest
LSU.
friend's bookie in Columbia, South Carolina, as I was texting. We're gonna do Alabama over LSU because I think LSU has blown their load. I think
Okay.
they're done. Obviously, Georgia's the number one team in the country,
Missouri. Okay, so
Dominant.
Georgia,
so Georgia's gonna win.
Texas A&M, Auburn.
Yeah, I'm gonna go A&M here. I think because they're at home, and this to me, I think you guys can agree. This is a pick 'em. Like, I mean, I think we all probably believe this would go either way.
Yep.
But I think A&M's at home. Here's the thing that comes from me is like, well, right, but Bo Nix, which one shows up? Auburn's won 2 back-to-back, pretty big games. But I think A&M with the bye week. They've had more time to prep. They're less beat up, so I think A&M should have the advantage because of those 2 reasons.
And man, that Georgia or Auburn Ole Miss game was like frenetic.
Yes.
They were going balls out.
I think they probably took a toll there.
Yep.
I think their win streak comes to an end this week.
Florida, South Carolina.
Yeah, as much as I would love to pick South Carolina, I mean, I think they need to win 2 more to be bowl eligible. I don't think this is one of them. So I think
Set your eyes on Clemson. You're better off.
God, I hope, because for a
Who
lot of South
barely
Carolina,
won.
well,
They
yeah,
barely
for a lot
won
of South
over
Carolina,
Seminoles.
I'm telling you, man, I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm very happy about
I think Mac fell asleep on us.
it. Right? He's like, fucking.
Right.
fuckers take so
Mississippi
long.
State, Arkansas.
This is the one I was kind of bouncing back and forth between, and I'm really struggling with it. But yeah, I think I gotta go Arkansas here at home. Yeah, I think yeah. I know Mississippi State's the giant killer. They've taken down what Kentucky and
Vanderbilt 45-6.
No, who
Yeah,
was-
fucking dominated.
Who was the other team this year? Was it A&M that they beat? Mississippi State? I think it was Mississippi State beat A&M when they were ranked like 15th. Yeah, it was A&M and now Kentucky. So it's kind of hard to go
they beat
against
A&M 26-22.
22.
I think it's kind of hard to go against Mississippi State, but I think Arkansas is the better program and they're at home. So yeah, I think Arkansas is the win there.
Kentucky, Tennessee,
We'll do Kentucky over Tennessee
and then Ole Miss over
and
Liberty.
Ole Miss over Liberty. Yep.
Okay. All right.
So we got a hell of a week firing up here.
So far. All righty, Mac.
Yeah.
We fall to you. Alabama over LSU.
Can somebody give me the line on the Alabama LSU game before I make my pick?
Yeah.
I'd
Good.
really
Keep
like
going.
to see that. I'd really like to see. Can we skip past that one?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I'll look it up.
Georgia, Missouri.
Georgia, Missouri. Can somebody give me the line on the Georgia, Missouri game? I'd like to see that. Can we skip over that one?
Ole Miss, Liberty.
Fuck you guys. Jesus. All right.
We played to
Cycle back
win,
up to the top.
motherfucker.
Max over there like, come on.
All right. Let's start from the top. You ready?
I'm about to make
Alabama.
your picks. No, I'm about to make your picks for you. You forfeited. You're fucking right.
Oh, that's
Smart
fucking
mouth.
great, man.
Alabama
Oh my
over LSU.
Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Ole Miss.
Okay.
Do I need to look at them again?
That's
Make
up to
sure you
you.
got them right.
That is up to you. However you want to do it. These
What
are the
surprises await us next weekend?
Those are the 3 games that are going to matter right there. All right. So we didn't do it last week. So let's jump over to ETSU. ETSU is going to take on VMI.
The Bucks had the bye week last week, so
They did. So Grinch, you're going to go first. Mac, is it okay if we make our picks? Because last week you shot us the fuck down. So I just want to make sure I have your permission.
no, you guys go right
Okay.
ahead.
Hey, what's the line on E ETSU VMI?
Don't
Yeah,
think
can
I'm
somebody
not
get that
looking
for
it up
me?
now.
I'm going to need you to. I'm
I'll
going to need you
stick
to
with
come with that every
ETSU.
week, Haas, from now on, just for Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Grinch, what are you going here?
Yeah, ETSU.
ETSU. I will also go ETSU. Haas, who would you like, or you want to wait?
I'll go ETSU.
And Grinch, I'm sorry, and Mac.
Yeah, I mean, I think here I'm sticking with ETSU.
Does Randy have the team dialed in? That's what I need to know.
I don't know if he's got. I mean, they had the bye week, right? So they had time to practice, look at film, prepare for VMI. I think the only really challenge they're going to have the rest of the year is going to be that Western Carolina game next week. I think that might be a bit of a tough sell. But
I'm not even.
I mean,
in the
VMI
competition.
though. Look, they've won their last 3 games. They put up 37 points, 45 points, and 46 points. So coming into this game, they're no slouch.
You talked me into it, Mac. I'll go VMI.
Is there a line on the game? Well, I'm not changing your pick unless I hear the line because we're all entitled to the information.
Yeah, you're right. I know. I just like fucking. I like ruffling feathers. And
I know you do.
There's a reason why we're friends. Yes, VMI is a 2.5 point favorite.
I may have to change my pick as well.
That is a 1:00 game at East Tennessee State.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Do you want to change? Do you want VMI?
Just so you have all the information.
No, I just like
Okay.
I just like fucking with you. It's
I
fun.
appreciate it.
Can I get the weather prediction?
Does anybody
Yes,
know what,
yes.
what uniforms?
They will be
do we-
playing in.
Do we know what uniforms they're going to be? Are they going to have a throwback jersey this week for ETSU? Because
You
that
never
could.
know. Do they even have a throwback uniform?
Look? If the fucking Sean have a throwback uniform, I'm sure East Tennessee State has one.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Our picks for next week are locked in. This is going to be interesting to say the least.
I mean, we had Separation Saturday a few weeks ago, but this
Yeah, we
is
did.
legit Separation Saturday.
This is going to be the one that matters.
Week
'cause
10's
this
where
is-
it's at.
This is going to decide whether or not Grinch pulls out ahead and makes it unattainable for any of us to touch him, or we either catch him or blow past him. All right, there it is.
In other
Yeah,
words,
I mean,
anything
and
could
and-
happen.
For the record, Mac could gain a game on you this week.
Oh yeah, he could gain a game on me this week. Absolutely.
You either love it or hate it, or you think it's okay.
That's it. That's it. All right, gents. Well, we will leave it there. Another week is in the books. We fast approach week 10, and we will see how week 10 rolls out. As always, I do appreciate it. The ruffling feathers and all. It's always fun, always enjoyable, and I look forward to doing this week in and week out. So thank you very much, and we will call it a day.